Hello everyone and welcome back to some rapid action on leeches. It's been a while since we've had some of this, and I dropped a little bit with rating as I usually do when I don't play on record, probably because I'm not ashamed of the moves that I make. Here I'm sort of held accountable, and then I try to play better. So hopefully that will be the case with this one. As usual, we're going to make it a 10 plus 0. 10 seconds, 10 minutes plus 10 seconds increment, and for the moment, yeah, that's pretty much it. We get the white pieces, and our opponent is Galito de Taberna, and we're gonna open with e4. No, we could maybe try something else. For fun, let's make it a c4, and let's go for something weird. Just start thinking right from the opening. So okay, our opponent also goes for controlling the center from the sides, not with his central pawns. We're gonna play pawn to d4, and well, how do we wanna play this? As our opponent isn't rushing anything, we could also fianchetto the dark square bishop, make it that kind of a game, something like maybe e3, or do we want to go simply knight f3 and castles? And then see, what's what later on. This is fine. This is fine. I don't know. A knight f3 looks to be more natural here, but we'll see. Maybe even e4 was the way to go. But he's not really fighting to stop it. So yeah, we're gonna try it like this. So yeah, as usual, I play games. I try to explain my thought process as best as I can. I'm not a great player, some say I'm not a terrible one. We're just defending d4 as he's putting pressure on the knight here, so nothing spectacular. Our plan is, okay, so he's putting more pressure on d4, which is already defended sufficiently. Maybe preparing pawn to f5, although, hard to say. But we're gonna castle. We're gonna castle. We don't really have anything that we want to prevent. e5, I mean, we can play d5, even invite knight d4. Yeah, so he's gonna play it. So how do we want to tackle this? Okay, so we're gonna play d5, and yeah, he does have pressure on my knight, but that's fine. Nothing really happening here. We could even throw in a b4. We could even throw in a b4. Yeah, okay, knight here. Fine, and now we throw in a b4. Yeah, this isn't opening up anytime soon. Captures on f3. Okay, I mean, it's not spectacular, but if he plays queen f6, we might have to capture and give up the dark square bishop. It's not ideal, but, again, I don't think it's that big of a deal. With him ruining his pawn structure, I guess it's a trade-off. Probably the bishop is a little bit better than, me claiming to have a better pawn structure, but we'll see. We'll see what he does. Okay, so queen f6, yeah, he says that's definitely the way to go. We do have to capture. I don't think there's any other way we can go about this. Yeah, we have to capture. He will capture back, and now obviously we don't want to play something like knight e2, so he can play d3. Although no, not knight e2, he can play d3, but we're not defending our knight here. So I guess we go knight b5. It comes with tempo. And we're putting more pressure on that d4 pawn. So I guess c6, rook c8 looks a little bit slow. c6 probably. Yeah, it's no, 95. He just puts more pressure. But now we can even sacrifice the queen. We can even sacrifice the queen. Maybe we take the knight, he takes the queen, I go knight d7, attack the queen and rook, so we're gonna capture the rook as well. So we get at least 2 pieces for the queen, perhaps more. Yeah. Definitely not something I took into consideration, although knight captures on d4 also works. So we either sacrifice the queen or we just go knight captures on d4. And we've got knight captures on d4. He can capture, and then if we capture here, he will capture the rook on a1. Okay. I think, I think the queen sacrifice is nice. Definitely would give an interesting game, but yeah, it's probably just gonna capture on c4. I think that's the real threat here. No, he actually goes for this. Okay. I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, I think he definitely should have captured. But okay. I mean, I'm up only 1 pawn, but I also like my position very much. All right, so how do we go about this? Definitely advancing. This is one file we don't want open. Yeah, okay, so now we go knight d4. We claim sort of right to c6. He stops that. And we go f4, just grabbing more space. And the only way for him to break through is to pile up on the e file, which we don't really mind. Now let's go rook e1. So yeah, it's okay. So this is one move I did not expect because I don't think it's very good. Why would he allow e5? If he allows e6, yeah. He allows e6, then I don't see a breakthrough for him to try and play for more than a draw. f4 maybe? Maybe f4? Yeah, f4, okay. So we're gonna throw in a nice e6. Which isn't really a threat since our rook is not defended here. So, yeah. Actually don't mind the capture. He can capture on g3. No, he probably should have captured on g3. Now I get the g4, and the f file remains closed, as we do have control over the f3 square. Yeah, so again, very interesting. We control a lot more space, but still, yeah, probably we're gonna get our knight to c6, then to e5, and then, okay, we're gonna get the king into the game as well, definitely to prevent those. Okay, so h4 definitely should be played, I think. Yeah, if h5, g5, probably. So we're just gonna play h4. Just to keep that rook on f8, and without the f file, I don't think he's activating those rooks. Yeah, we're not gonna allow any of the lines to open up, which is useful. You know, when your opponent has rooks, you don't want to open files. And yeah, I think this is, it's gonna be an interesting game. I would much rather be white here, regardless of what the engine says, but as I don't see, yeah, okay, so he will try to be flexible. He will try to somehow get his pieces into the game, but I don't see a way for him to even attempt such a thing. Yeah, of course we're gonna keep it closed. And now what? Okay, so we go bishop e4. Now we can even deliver some checks here. Yeah. Probably f3. Just try and sacrifice that pawn to open up the f file. I'm not gonna take it. That's definitely, you know, not happening. But maybe it's an attempt. Yeah, I probably just put a bishop and then I capture with the king or something like that. But yeah, you can definitely see that he's struggling, he's burning more time. And yeah, we're gonna analyze the game afterwards. I mean, I'm an e4 player, I don't really play all that much c4, but I've done some practicing with you know, the c4 g3 line. I played blitz games, some bullet games, and it is very nice. You get very different positions than you would from e4 games, but still, you know, it's enjoyable. Especially since I don't know anything. I mean, I don't know much theory on e4 either, but you know, this way you think from the beginning. So you know, there's a chance good things will happen, but also you can mess up right from the start. All right, so what else can we say about this position? What can he... Okay, so he decides to, as we've blocked the e file, he decides to give up the bishop for... I have no idea what. He will give up the rook as well? Okay, but now he's just down a piece. I have no idea why he would do that. To play for this... Yeah, it doesn't really look all that... Okay, but all his pawns are on dark squares. It could actually be a good decision. Yeah, maybe we don't trade rooks here. Maybe we don't trade rooks here. I mean, there's not going to be all that much for my bishop to do. I think it's still winning if I just, you know, offer a rook trade and trade rooks, but... yeah, it could be very annoying. I think it's more precise to go king f3. Yeah, we defend, and if he goes here, then we play bishop d5 and we gain control over the e file. So I think that was his idea. Okay, and now if we go rook d1, he will play rook d6. Yeah, okay. But again, we don't mind. If rook d6, we're just gonna play bishop d5 again. Yeah, bishop d5. So he doesn't have rook e6, and now we're gonna claim the e file. And if king e5, yeah, okay. Yeah, that is interesting. But still, I mean, what will the king do alone? There's nothing for that king to do there. A very, very weird decision. Yeah, this is now just straight out winning. But it was, I guess, you know, in a position where there was nothing for him to do, giving... Yeah, okay, now he resigns. I think that was actually the best way to go. So let's just check what we did well and what we did wrong. So I played c4. You can see a little bit of engine right there, so you can, you know, see what the engine is thinking. Knight f6, I played g3. This weird bishop to g2 line. Bishop g7, I played knight c3. Okay, this is all perfectly fine. I imagine, as the, you know, the bar is somewhere in the middle. e4, engine not a big fan. Engine just wants the castle. Someone is also analyzing this game while I'm doing it. Mr. Ultimate Trasher from Ireland says, "How are you, Antonio?" I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for asking. But yeah, knight c6, and I launched forward with pawn to e4. Yeah, pawn to e5, obviously. Bishop g4 is what he played. I played bishop to e3. Knight to d7. He prepared some pawn pushes in the center. I'd castled kingside and he played pawn to e5. I played d5, knight d4. Probably I messed up something here. b4. Yeah, b4, a great mistake. Of course it is. Queen f6. Yeah, I played bishop captures on d4. He captured. I played knight b5. And a5 sort of very strong for black, says our good friend the engine. Because why not? What was the idea? a5, I capture on c7 and rook c8. That was the point. I go here and now knight e5. Oh, okay, so this is how he wins the piece, because after knight cap, oh, he has rook captures on c4. Now with pressure on d4 as well. Okay, yeah, if you see all of that, then you deserve to punish my pawn to b4 nonsense, but in the game, knight to e5 was played right away, which is still good for black. I played knight b captures on d4, played knight captures on f3, which is better than knight captures on c4, obviously. Yeah, I just moved the rook c1, and the game continues equal position. But this way, it was better for him, and he played queen captures on a1, queen captures, bishop captures. Still a little bit better for black. I played rook captures on a1. Pawn to a5, yeah, definitely good. I decided to keep it closed. Yeah, I would definitely capture the knight on f3 with, I mean, all of these weaknesses on the dark squares, allowing knight d4. Not the best, probably. He played pawn to b6, yeah, and immediately I played knight d4. And now it's a 0-0 position. So like I said, even though, you know, I don't care what the engine says, I would much rather have white here. Bishop to d7, I play pawn to f4. This is very nice. Rook a to e8, rook to e1. And f6, yeah, he played pawn to f5, which is already better for me. So we figured that during the game, which is nice. Captures, captures, and he played pawn to f4, trying to open up the position. I played e6, bishop to c8, and pawn to g4. Controlling those rooks, so they're not entering the game. King g7, I played h4. Yeah, so we're, you know, +2, +2.5. This is sort of winning for white. h6. The engine likes bishop to f3. Yeah, I decided to create a blockade with the king. King f2, g5, I played h5, and rook f6, yeah, and bishop to e4. Okay, so we gain control over the f5 square, and here my opponent doesn't really have a good move, as once knight f5 check lands, he can't really go on this diagonal to defend the pawn. So the rook will be extremely strong there, and also there's just nothing for black to do here. If you cannot use the f-file for the rooks, it's a game over. So my opponent tried his bishop captures on e6 maneuver, which did make sense, but only, you know, if I allowed him to trade rooks. Captures, captures, and yeah, okay, so it works. Yeah, bishop d works, and if he trades rooks, obviously it's winning. But I thought, yeah, with the pawns on dark squares, I will have no targets for my bishop. You know, it's gonna take a lot. That's why I went for this king f3 line, and decided to keep the rooks in the game. He played king f6, rook to d1. He again tried to make it, you know, so I have a bishop versus dark square pawns. I play bishop to d5, king e5, rook e1 check, king to d4, and the rook to e7. And yeah, here he resigned because there is nothing for him to do. I'm just gonna start gobbling up pawns, and that's pretty much it. There's really nothing he can do here. So resignation is the best possible course of action. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I always play much better when I record, as I'm not, you know, doing my silly moves that you know, most people would be ashamed of. But yeah, now it's time to start recording again. Let's get back to 2300 and possibly beyond. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. You know, I will make more of these videos, as you know, they're a bit of a different content that I usually make, you know, showing games by really strong grandmasters. But here, maybe these are games that you guys can relate to a little bit more. I know, you know, most of my viewers are stronger players than me, but for some of you, this could be, you know, useful content. I'm not gonna be teaching you, you know, how you should play a certain opening, or, you know, this is a really strong line, you should play this and you're gonna win a lot of games. No, I just play whatever. Like here, I have no idea what I've played, you know, just push some pieces and pawns. But you know, I try to think and you know, try to play with whatever position I have. So I hope you enjoyed that, and yeah, that's it for this video. We'll be seeing you soon. Take care.